Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life. Welcome back to another episode of Next to Madison. I'm your host, Madison Malloy, and on today's episode, I am sitting down with an amazing 2 times TEDx speaker and executive leadership coach, Darryll Stinson. He has the most unbelievable story and tips and tricks to be your most authentic self, how to become a better listener, how to become a better leader, and so much more. You are absolutely not going to want to miss this episode. Re-listen to it or make sure you take notes because there is such great information that's going to change your life. I know that I feel more inspired after sitting down with this very special guest. So we will be right back after this brief message on Next to Madison. Hi, it's your host, Madison Malloy. For those of you who don't know, I've written and created a powerful collection of books to help you build confidence, shift your mindset, and attract the life you truly want. From Time to Lighten the F Up to Affirm and Flourish, Color Your Way to Abundance, and more. These aren't just books, they're tools for transformation. Grab a copy now on Amazon or at madisonmalloy.com. Now back to the show. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Great. So excited. Stoked.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I recently met you and through a mutual friend, and I was so excited I did. But for those of you who, people that don't know you, like, what is your story? Because you have a fascinating story.
Oh, thank you. Well, man, I grew up in a small town, Jackson, Michigan, about an hour west of Detroit, and home of Tony Dungy, actually. A lot of people don't know that. So I used to do this joke that me and Tony Dungy are the only famous people from Jackson. And it used to go over well because I wasn't famous and he was. Now I'm like starting to get known. So people are like, oh, really? Oh, you know Tony? I was like, I actually don't know Tony yet. But Jackson, Michigan, small town, inner city, just like the smaller Detroit, was in accelerated learning classes as a young kid because my mom noticed I was bright and brilliant.
Yeah.
And it made me 1 or 2 black students in an all-white class. And it worked for me. People cheated off my tests. They laughed at my jokes. They nicknamed me Goon because I was like this goofy, goony-looking guy.
Yeah.
At that time, my goal was to have perfect attendance and be an all-A student from K through 12.
Okay.
And so I was definitely a teacher's pet type of kid.
Yeah.
And what I learned is that being studious, being a teacher's pet, did not make you popular. It got you picked on. And so when they started bullying me, making fun of me, rumors that I was gay, I have a big gap in my teeth, so they would kick paper footballs through my teeth. I was the darkest kid in our school, so they would make fun of me for being dark. And when we watched Bill Nye the Science Guy, you remember Bill Nye?
Yeah, I do. I do. I just aged myself.
Bill Nye the Science Guy, Bill Nye, right? So that used to be my worst nightmare. Because Bill Nye TV would come in, they would cut off the lights, and the same joke every single time. Where did Darryll go? All we can see is his teeth and his eyes.
Oh, jeez.
And so it created this deep insecurity in me that who I was authentically wasn't enough to be liked, loved, or respected by other people. And that created a lot of insecurity. And so because I grew up in the inner city and to be emotional wasn't respected, and it sometimes would get you picked on, I suppressed those emotions. And the same time, my family paradigm and many people that was raised in that generation, used physical abuse in order to discipline a child, a lot of times without rationale. Okay. And so when I would cry, my parents would spank me, and then I would cry more, and they would say, boy, you better stop crying. And they would threaten me and flinch at me and say, or I'll give you something to cry about.
Oh, geez.
And it would force me to bottle up this emotion.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't talking about the fact that I didn't fit in, that I was being picked on. I was just bottling it in and really taking out all that anger, that frustration, that I don't know, just all those emotions and fueling my athletic success with it.
Yeah.
And so I became a really high-level athlete. I was ranked 79th in the nation in basketball, and I was even higher ranked in football. I earned a full-ride scholarship to play football and basketball at Central Michigan University. Only ended up playing football there. And I'll never forget when my coach looked across from me and Antonio Brown, who is arguably one of the top 10 receivers to ever play in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I was a true freshman. Antonio Brown was a sophomore. And he said, gentlemen, it's not a matter of if you're going to go to the NFL. It's only a matter of when. So he was implying, as a person who had worked with lots of NFL athletes, that as a true freshman, I had the opportunity to go early.
Yeah.
And so I was this close away from signing an NFL contract, from having my bills taken care of, my family out of the hood, and in my mind, having the world fall in love with me and actually like me. And I got hurt, had back surgery. That was supposed to be the end of my career. I, to make a long story short, signed a liability waiver and came back after back surgery to play Division I football. I earned a starting position within 6 months, and I did so because of opioid pills.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And what started as me using these painkillers to numb the physical pain so I could play the football turned to me using them to numb the emotional pain that I was experiencing from knowing that my career was coming to an end.
Yeah.
And the worst part about this is I had changed everything about myself to fit in with other people. I changed the way that I talked, the music I listened to. I even changed the way that I laughed. I had started skipping school, selling drugs, having sex outside of marriage, doing all this lavish lifestyle because I didn't want to be picked on when I was younger, and I wanted to just be this jock of an athlete who people love.
Of course.
Even though it wasn't my true authentic self, even though it wasn't my calling or my purpose.
Yeah.
But since I was successful, that's why one of the things I always say often as a leadership is the worst thing in life is not to be a failure. The worst thing in life is to be successful at something that you were never meant to be successful at.
Wow. That's deep.
And that was almost me. I was almost a professional star, rock star athlete, and everyone would have applauded me and asked me for autographs, and no one would have asked me if I was aligned. Yeah. And so thankfully that got ripped from under me. Coaches saw that these opioids were thinning my blood, and that every time I made contact on the field, my nose would bleed. And so they stopped believing that it was allergies, and they kicked me off the team going into my senior year. And that's when I was forced to face the fact that I didn't know who I was. I hadn't prepared for a career outside of athletics. And I couldn't even tell you what music I really liked. And so I had a choice. Either I go into the streets and continue to sell drugs and be that guy, or I figure out who I am and what I want to do with my life. And the figuring out who I am, what I want to do with my life was not what I wanted to do. That required an emotional toolkit that I had no access to. And so what did I do? I imploded. I say whatever we don't express, we suppress. And 100%. Our cellular memory, and it's only a matter of time before we explode on other people or implode on ourselves. I imploded and landed in a psychiatric unit in Detroit, Michigan, after multiple suicide attempts, after going from 275 pounds to 219 pounds in 4 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And it was there that I had 2 angelic visitations, take it or leave it. And
what do you mean by angelic? Like you felt that spirits were coming to see you like in your dream and communicate with you?
No, these are real people who came and visited me who I believe were angels. I believe that they were.
Yeah.
I mean, one woman was a woman in green pants, and she came in there when my mom had entered me into the psychiatric care facility, and the doctor was asking me these questions. Why did I want to end my life? And I was like, leave me alone. I just want to die.
Yeah. That's
this woman with green pants comes in. She picks me up, grabs me in her arms. She's like, I don't know who you are. I don't have any jurisdiction to be back here in this part of the hospital. But God sent me back here to tell you that you need to say yes to him. Will you say yes?
What?
And this woman prayed for me for like 15 minutes. It felt like 5 because I kept screaming, just let me die.
Yeah.
And she left and said she was going to come back, and she never did. And, you know, I believe it's because I finally surrendered in that moment. I finally said yes to God. I finally, let go of the need to hold on to my pain and my anger and my frustration. And I just said yes to my future, yes to my dream, yes to that inner voice that was calling me saying, you need to be a leader and a speaker. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I say that has shifted people from complacency, from stagnation, from a life that's black and white to a life that's full color, is when you learn how to stop running from the whispers and you learn how to say yes to the whispers.
I love that.
So I say yes. And that changed my life. I say it this way. I had a system of success at that time. I was a top 100 athlete.
Yes.
I didn't have a system of self-care. So while I was admitted into that psychiatric care facility, I saw my first counselor. Okay. I did my first journal entry. I did my first mindfulness exercise. And I started to learn there's this whole world here. Mm-hmm. I can build my life from the inside out, not the outside in. And it was a game changer for me. And I figured that out, and I had a lot of success.
So how long were you in the psychiatric facility?
I always worry about saying this because technically by law, you're supposed to be in there. At the time, back then it was 3 days. Now it's 5 days. If you make an attempt to end your life, that you need to be held in that facility 5 days. Through miraculous events, I was out in a day and a half.
Okay. So that's pretty quick. And then when you started going inwards and really like working on yourself and building yourself from the inside out, what was that journey like?
First, it was very, very, very brutal.
Yeah.
I had some bad experiences. I'll never forget, like one of my first actual counseling appointments outside of that care facility. I had got a male therapist, and the whole time he was checking his watch during the session. So here I am trying to get help, like to deal with like the aftermath of like, well, why did I allow myself, and how do I feel, and how do I articulate these emotions? Yeah. Why do I have all this bottled up anger? He's checking his watch, and then we had an hour session. At the 40-minute mark, my man's asked me, what do I need to do to get your business back?
He asked you that?
Yes.
Oh my, what did you say? Stop looking at your watch?
I don't know what I said. I was hurt. I was really trying to heal. So that was a bad experience, and I stayed in that too long. It was so, the reason why I bring up some of this bad experience early on is because so many people they don't have the best experience when they try to see counselors.
See, and I have a thing too, where if therapy works for you, do that. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a big proponent of it because I feel like it's just rehashing the past and the pain.
It can be.
And you're just reliving it, right?
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be.
I like to always say, okay, this is the story that brought you where you are today.
Yeah.
Now let's rewrite the new story.
Well, totally. I mean, that's cognitive behavioral therapy 101.
Yeah.
Which is that my thoughts produce my feelings, produce my behaviors, produce my results. And so I learned that through counseling, because every time I would come there and they'd be asking me, what's going on with your life? Okay, I'm talking about my argument with my spouse. I'm talking about my hard day at work. And they're like, oh, why does that bother you? Where does that come from? You know, and it's like all of a sudden I'm talking about, well, my dad when I was 3. And I'm like, well, so everything led back to the source of my pain and how I was recreating that with my subconscious, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's the power of being, you know, if you're in a good, you know, have a good therapist, they're probably using, you know, in terms of talk therapy.
Yeah.
They're probably using cognitive behavioral therapy and literally just having you talk long enough to identify the thought that's producing the results you're experiencing in life so that you can replace it with a more empowering thought.
Yeah.
And by the way, early on, I was heavily resistant to that narrative. Okay. Like I'll tell you, like my counselor, shout out to Sean Larry, out of Michigan. And she's all of 5'1", you know, and I'm 6'5.5". And,
yeah.
and in here crying like a baby, and she's helping me deal with my emotions. It's just the funniest scene ever. And so she's literally listening to me, and we're talking for 40 minutes or so. And she's like she's trying to work with me this whole session. And I'm like, I just get irritated. I'm like, I'm not doing that brainwashing stuff. Like that positive affirmation, that like change your thought. Like I'm not doing that. That's brainwash. That's stupid. Okay. Like, that was how I was. Isn't that crazy? Sean Larry goes, totally understand. She's like, can I just offer you something? I was like, sure. What? She was like, we've been talking for 40 minutes in this session and you've said nothing but negative things. You're already brainwashed. I'm just trying to help you switch the tape.
Wow. Damn. What's her name? Sherry?
Her name was Sean Larry.
Sean Larry.
Yes.
Mic drop.
Now you know why she was my counselor. I actually can't practice outside of Michigan, but every time I go back, I got to see Sean Larry, right? Because she knows me, you know, and that got me. And I was like, yeah, you know what? She's right. I'm about to switch this tape.
Yeah.
We have 70,000 thoughts on average per day, and the majority of them are repetitive, and most of them are negative.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're having these negative, repetitive thoughts looping in our minds over and over and over again. And we never intentionally say, well, hey, why don't I determine what I want to listen to today? Mm-hmm. So that's where I started looking myself in the mirror and saying, Darryll, you are a leader.
Yeah. You
can do this.
And now, how long did it take to get used to that? Because when people first start doing mirror affirmations,
six to 8 months.
Yeah.
Because when I really got in that practice, I couldn't even look at myself because all I saw was the drugs that I sold to people who I regretted selling drugs to.
Okay.
How promiscuous I was or allowed myself to be. The fact that I had lost sight of my identity in my life, like that's what I saw when I looked in the mirror. But what I learned and what I tell people is that I just wasn't looking long enough or deep enough.
Yeah.
Because if you start looking long enough, number one, you'll run out of all that. Like, okay, all right, you already saw your crooked nose, you saw your eye, you saw the stuff you don't like.
I just like, you mentioned a couple times you changed your laugh. Why was that? Were you getting made fun of for the laugh?
I was, yeah. So
what is your laugh today?
I'm back to original reset.
The original one.
Yeah.
Okay. Not the changed one. Okay, good.
They say you don't discover your purpose, you uncover it.
Yeah.
So I'm back to reset.
Okay, good. So this is like the original.
It's high pitch. I sound like a high pitched like girl when I laugh.
Oh my God. When I laugh, I sound like a pot smoking like crazy loon in Salem, Massachusetts. Sometimes I'm like, what? Like I'll be on and I'm like, is this really? But you know what the wonderful thing about getting older is? You just start to give less of a F.
I know.
You just start embracing it. Although I still have the issues where, I specifically walked into the studio and I said to our great engineer, I said, your only job today is to make me look young. He was like, oh, please. And I was like, I'm just kidding, So, but no, that is so you're 6 to 8 months, you're finally to the point where you believe yourself. You believe what you're actually telling yourself, which is...
Oh, hold up. That's not what I said. I said 6 to 9 months before I got more comfortable looking at myself in the mirror. But the healing process is infinite. It never stops. There's always levels and layers to healing. Yeah. Okay. There just is.
I think it's like you grow until the day you die. I think you heal parts of yourself until the day you die as well.
You do.
Yeah.
And sometimes the healing isn't it's because you evolved, and what needs to be healed is your relationship with the old version of yourself.
Yeah. No, that's true. And so when did you feel like you were finally free from the chains of proving yourself to other people around you or trying to quote unquote
really
fit
good
in?
Question. I'm looking for a more recent moment because I had a recent breakthrough on that. But it's evading me. So I'll give you the one that popped up immediately.
Yeah.
It wasn't the day it all stopped, but it was the day that the biggest amount fell off.
Okay.
Okay. And I was pastoring a church. I was a satellite campus pastor. So there was a main campus, and then in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and then our satellite location was in an hour away in Saginaw. And my wife and I were the campus pastors. So my role was basically to serve as in-person pastor for them. And then on Sundays, when the service would happen, I would open us up with like announcements, and then we would do worship, and then I would say, now let's join the sermon, and then ding. And then we would tune in to the main pastor preaching at the main campus.
Okay.
And then after he's done, I would come and say, well, that was amazing, y'all. Anybody need prayer or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That was basically my role. The problem is that he was an amazing communicator, and I was terrible. Like couldn't put two sentences together. Like couldn't articulate an emotion.
Okay.
Like just terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm leading, and I have to follow him and open for him, and I just felt terrible. So I would always try to like mimic him. Like I'll just try to be the best version of him I can be, and it was so terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Right. So he ends up like going on this busy season where he's opening up, he's busy, and so I start taking over these Wednesday night services that he would come in person and do in-person Wednesdays. Okay. So I started subbing in here and there, and I was always trying to like do a worse version of him. So I'm being perturbated by Sundays, sucking it up, trying to be a false version of him, and Wednesdays being like, this guy today. In one sermon, I was trying to open like he opens, do the thing that normal pastors do. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I literally dropped the script. I had 12 pages of notes for a 30-minute sermon. And I literally said, y'all, I can't do this.
So this is what you said this out loud
I said this outside to the congregation, all like 12 of them that were there.
Yeah. What was the reaction?
Connection.
So you just went from your heart.
Yeah.
And was that the first time you had actually spoken from your heart?
It wasn't the first time I had spoken from my heart, but it was the first time I did it in that setting.
Yeah.
And that was a big one.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I mean, I say this to leaders. Nothing weighs more emotionally. Not a hard day of work.
Okay.
Not a payroll that you have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Not a meeting you have that's high pressure that's coming up. Nothing weighs more than trying to be someone you're not.
Damn.
And that's what I was doing.
And so that was like the first moment. And did you just have a feeling of like freedom?
Massive freedom. It was like my soul wanted it so much. Because I had done a lot of speaking up until that point. I had spoken in high schools and a couple of colleges and lots of little like Christian circles, Fellowship of Christian Athletes stuff. So I had experience. It just was like I was caged. I was stifled. I wasn't expressed. I was hiding behind a counterfeit version that felt safer.
Yeah.
But it was killing me. And so when I let that go, it was like 1,000 pounds just dropped off me. I was like, and then it was like, how authentic can I be?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly,
like, and I was just breaking rules. Like, everybody stand for the reading of the word. No, we're not standing today.
Yeah, right.
We're like, sitting for the word today.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's start by opening to Philippians 4. No, I'm going to tell you what I did this week. You know, me and my wife got in an argument this week. You know why? Because we weren't reading Philippians 4. You know, like,
yeah.
That's how I started.
But that makes you more authentic. You've got to connect with your audience, which is probably the biggest thing you learned. So do you feel that was, how old were you at this point?
23, probably, 4.
So do you think
5?
this was like the first time in your life, except for when you were a baby, obviously, that you were like authentically you? Because it sounds like this.
Yeah.
Fitting in and molding yourself to your surroundings started at a very young age.
It was the first time since then I had, yeah.
Yeah, and it just must have been the most freeing. So did you worry about what people would think of you? Now that you were yourself, you're almost operating from this whole different operating and identity system. Like, what's the judgment?
I don't want to confuse people because, to be honest with you, it was less about what people thought. Okay, it was about what people thought, but not for why people think.
Okay.
It was for what people thought because I really cared about changing their life with what I had to say.
Yeah.
And so their perception of me was ruining their receptivity of me.
Okay. Yep.
You with me?
Yep.
So then I cared about that. I cared that their false perception of who I was limiting their ability to receive from me. That drives me nuts. Still to this day, it's one of the things that drives me nuts.
Okay.
That somehow a narrative in our mind keeps us from receiving from people who are right in front of us.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Well, because most of us don't listen. We're designed just to listen enough to respond.
Exactly.
And so we really don't receive the information because we're too busy thinking about what we're going to say next.
Exactly.
So how would you work with a lot of executives as an executive coach. Like, what are some skills to become a better listener? So we stop listening to respond.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a couple. One, I think everybody should try an active listening exercise, right?
Okay.
Like, you should work on it. Okay. One of the ways that I worked on it, I'll give you two actually. One was it was inside of a leadership camp. So, but it was the spotlight experience. So when somebody else is talking, you can even do this with your cell phone. Just turn your light towards them.
Okay.
Okay. The goal is to see how long you can listen and only ask clarifying questions, not interject your own opinions or thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's literally, hey, so what I'm hearing from you is this. Is that right? Okay, cool. So you just do that for preferably as long as you can, right? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
But if you just did that for 15 minutes, 2-3 times a week, and made sure that you didn't turn that spotlight back on you, Okay. Because what would happen is if I started to be like, oh man, that was so good. You know what I was thinking? Spotlight on you now.
Yes.
You start talking about you. No.
Yeah.
No, only about them. Okay. So that really helped me to be more aware that I was doing it because I didn't know that I wasn't being a good active listener and just like airing my own opinion until I was forced to ask clarifying questions and keep the spotlight on the other person.
That's really good.
Okay. The other thing is some people just do it because they have like a lot of leaders, especially leading big companies. People don't notice it. They have, most of them are ADHD or ADD. They've got lots of quirks and stuff, right? So I'm like that too. I'm ADD, ADHD.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably all the Ds. Okay.
Yeah. I feel you. I'm with you.
And Sean Larry actually gave me the exercise because I could not connect two thoughts. And this is the same skill to be able to listen and hold space for someone. You gotta hold space for them.
Yeah.
And my mind is running, thinking about 19 other different things, but the person who I'm holding space for. So this is gonna sound so counter, like what? Yes. So what I would do, Sean Larry told me to do this, brushing my teeth. And here's my assignment. I can only think about the tooth that I'm brushing. Not my laundry, my test, what's coming next, not a song, not like nothing. Like, how's this tooth? And focus on the sensation that the brush is causing the tooth. Dang. Man, the power of presence. And what that did is it taught me how to be present to something in the moment. Because if I can pay attention to my tooth and the sensation I have, surely I can pay attention to a human who's got some good story and some emotion and some intellect.
Yeah.
It really, really helped my ability to listen to other people.
Because it's such a powerful skill.
It is very.
You know, and I think that people that know how to listen, you've probably heard of these people and you're probably one of them. They're able to walk into a room and when you talk to that person, they make you feel like you're the only person or the most important person in that room.
Yes.
That's it. That's an amazing skill, but I think that comes from being a great listener.
It does.
Because we all want to be seen, heard, and validated. Like those are like our human, it's almost like water, food, and shelter.
Yep.
For the emotional spectrum of things. But I think, that's probably how you become a better leader is listening to what your people need.
Yeah. Let me give you one more that might scare some of the listeners away.
Okay.
Listening to yourself helps you to be a better listener to others. Now.
Okay.
Most high-level leaders do not listen to themselves.
How do you listen to yourself?
Solitude.
Meditation?
Time by yourself.
Okay.
Meditation is great. I'm talking about you time.
With no TV.
So I'll tell you one of the practical things. So number one, I tell most of us we're raised similar to how I was raised. You might not have been physically abused, but maybe it was an undertone that your emotions are a distraction to success, progress, business. Okay.
Yep.
And so most executives do not process their emotions. They just don't. They just suppress them. They get through a tough, stressful day, have a glass of wine at the end of the night, and then they go to bed and they get up and do it the next day. But unprocessed emotions often become ill-processed emotions. We make wrong conclusions about ourselves and other people. So a very simple thing that a person can do is at the end of your day for 15 minutes, set a timer and review your calendar and you talk about what happened and how you felt about what happened.
Okay, so you're saying go through your calendar.
Yes.
Or everything you did that day for the last, like before bed or anytime.
I like to do it at the end of my workday because if I do it before bed, I'm going to go sleep. You know? But at the end of my workday, it's like my work shut down. It's like after I close and delegate and do the thing, that's how I close out my day is I have to emotionally process.
You look at each and you say, how did I feel?
Yes.
So if a meeting went great, you're like, this meeting was awesome. I learned this. This is where we're moving forward.
And then it's why.
Okay.
How did I feel? But you notice how quickly you went, I learned this and I this is what I'm doing moving forward. That is part of it. You do get insights.
Yeah.
Internal insights. You do get insights.
Okay.
But the main point is that you get the processing of the emotion so that you're not living tomorrow with yesterday's emotions.
Like if you had a bad day, if something didn't go well, primarily.
Yes, I'm trying to be simple, but it's all emotions. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I tell you one that a lot of people carry around a lot of good ideas, and because they don't have a team that supports their good ideas. They don't express them enough. And so they just think about them. That also creates overwhelm, lack of mental clarity, makes it harder for you to go through your day. There's so many effects of that, okay?
Yeah.
So just start. Here's what my day is. Here's how I felt about it. And then dig, why did I feel that way? What's causing me? Why is that bothering me? Why did that make me excited? Why did that make me happy? Why was I happy? Why? Self-exploration, self-curiosity, emotional expression, okay? It would really, really help people because the depth at which you listen to yourself determines the capacity by which you can hold space for somebody else.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, no, that's good. Because, I think, and when you talk a lot about suppressed emotions or, I truly believe that with not expressing our emotions or going internal, that we can actually make ourselves sick.
Yes.
Like, disease, like illness is like ill. What does disease stands for? Like mind not at ease or something like It's something like something with the mind.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because there's been people, that have been on this podcast that have, healed themselves.
Yes.
Through the power of the mind. Yes. And I do love those stories. I mean, here's the thing is like, this is a weird question that I think is important to ask. If you were to go to your doctor and you got diagnosed with cancer,
okay,
what would you do?
I would immediately feel a rush of fear. And I would reject the diagnosis.
You would reject. Okay. So because you're on that positive mindset. So for me, I would say, fuck it. I would look at my bank account and I would go live. And I would just travel around. I didn't give a shit. I was going to go travel every country, everything I was going to do. But I feel that would be the thing that healed you. Do you know what I mean? And there's stories of that.
I know some of those stories.
Like, I think that's what I would do. I don't know if I would do treatment. I'd be like, well, fuck it. This is how much money I have. Let's do it.
Yeah. And everybody's situation is so complex, right? Yeah. So it's not to be like treatment's a bad option, but it is to say that like treatment's not a healer.
No, because your mind, because you've heard those stories of people that were misdiagnosed. And then when they die and they do the autopsy, there was no cancer found or disease.
Yeah.
And then the opposite.
Yes. But I've also seen people who would not like what I just said, they rejected the diagnosis. They wouldn't get the help, the care that they need, and they passed.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a self-honesty, there's a knowing, and then there's a consistency in the community, and there's a lot of variables, man. It's a very complex scenario, but the truth remains the same, is that, to have your mind working for you is in your advantage.
Absolutely. But it kind of brings up that point, like with the whole thing is like, just go live.
Yeah.
And I think some people might agree with my thing of like, but here's the problem. If I'm saying I'm going to go live, most of us aren't really living.
I know. They're just existing.
Yes.
I know.
And I'm guilty of it. You've got your schedule, you've got your things, you've got stuff on the calendar. Like, how do you truly get into like living, even though it's a Monday?
Don't ask me that. Don't ask me how to live. People say, today is a gift. Tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually live like that. You know why?
Yeah. Wow. No.
Because I swallowed a whole bottle of pills in hope that I didn't wake up. That was your
suicide attempt when you...
Oh, man, I made several vehicles, substance abuse, starvation. I tried so many things. So when I say I'm living the life I tried to end, I mean it. Yeah. So number one, if you want to wake up with more life, with more vitality, with more energy, start by reminding yourself that it is a blessing to be alive.
Yeah, and it goes.
Don't believe me?
Fast.
What do they say? When you're healthy, you've got 1,000 problems. When you're not healthy, you got one problem.
Yes.
So like we don't need to get sick to appreciate life. We don't need a terminal diagnosis to appreciate what we have. Yeah. Like we don't need to go to a funeral to be reminded about the brevity of this human experience that we have. We just need to choose it. We can choose it today. We can say, okay, you know what? I want that tomorrow. I want it right now. Let me think. How many people aren't here right now? How many friends have I lost already? Who hasn't been there? Okay, am I grateful for this breath? What if it got taken away? Okay, cool. Okay. Already. Now I'm already waking up. Yeah. See that? Yeah. Waking up. Okay, there. Now we got to move our body. Yeah. Okay, we got to turn on some music. I can shift any room by hitting the play button.
What's your go-to song?
I don't have a go-to song. I actually need one, But probably if I had one, I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be.
I love that song. It always reminds me of The Hangover.
That tonight's gonna be a good, right? Like if you go to your next team meeting, they're all in there like, I need my third coffee of the day. Just be like, play. Yeah. I got a feeling. Right? You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like music and body movement shifts your energy, makes you feel like you never want to be lazy after a workout. But you always want to be lazy if you don't work out.
Yes.
So if you start moving your body, listen to some music, all of a sudden life starts having some color to it. You start feeling like you want to do something with your life.
Yeah.
Then get around other people who are doing something with their life so that you feel uncomfortable if you're not doing anything with yours.
Yeah.
Community is so powerful. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story because I want to. I was one of the ways I got over my poverty mindset was through community. And
I love this. The poverty mindset you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm at dinner table and it's me and another couple and I'm sitting here and we order and they paid for it or whatever. And then we ordered, it was 5-star diamond restaurant or something like that. Yeah. So it was expensive.
Okay.
And like I ate my food because that's what I was taught.
Yeah.
Okay. You eat your food, all that food, you don't leave none on the plate. Okay? Now we getting ready to leave. And my man's it's like almost a half of a filet mignon steak. And I'm like, dude, no way. That steak was $140.
Yeah.
You're going to leave half of it? No way.
What do you say?
No. This was internally.
Okay.
But I noticed something. I was freaking out in my nervous system. I was like jittery.
Yeah.
Just like, why is there so much? Why are they about to leave that food? And they weren't. You know why? Because I was in scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
They were in abundance. I can't tell you, I'm a badass at making money and thinking. I can't tell you all these books I read that were great books.
Yeah.
But none of them helped me really get it like being around other people.
Okay.
So when you're around people that are up and they're moving and they're doing purpose-driven stuff, something about you is going to feel like I felt at that dinner table. Like I feel awkward that I want to grab the scraps. Something about you is going to feel awkward. You still laying in the bed at noon? You should feel awkward. Get around people that make you feel uncomfortable. Yeah. You're shooting that low? Oh my God. You recorded your podcast and you're not getting your voice out there. You're not doing live stream. You're not on stages. Get around some people that look at you and they ain't applauding you. They saying, what's next? What else you got?
Yeah.
And that, my friend, is a big part of it. We got to stop trying to just do it on our own.
Yeah. I think people are inherently afraid to ask for help. Mm-hmm. And in some areas of my life, I'm very good at asking for help. In a lot of areas, I don't want to inconvenience.
I get that.
So what do you say to people that are afraid to ask for help?
I can relate. I struggle to ask for help too. It wasn't until my mentor, David Meltzer, said, and honestly, he had said it 100 times, but I was interviewing him. He had lost $100 million of his net worth, had to move his mother out of the house that he bought for her.
Oh my gosh.
And then he rebuilt it all back.
Yeah.
I asked him how. He said gratitude and asking for help.
Wow.
And I didn't think he was trying to BS me. So I leaned in. I was like, so this asking for help thing is serious. Yeah. I'm not good at that.
Right.
How can I get better at that? Well, he's like, number one, why are you asking? Well, because I'm trying to help people. So are you asking for you or are you asking for the people you're trying to help? I guess I'm asking for them. Well, why don't you make it about asking for them? Because when people help you, more people get helped. So that helped. That helped peel back a layer.
Yeah.
There was another period where I was a director of donor development for United Way. And I had, to raise funds. And raising funds is inherently asking people for money, which is often uncomfortable. And I wish I could remember the name of the book I read, but it helped me to really understand. And I would see this from people donating on time of how much a gift it is for them to give.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I started looking at how much money circulates to people who are not doing as much meaningful things as I'm doing in the world, in the community. And it agitated, my competitor got out of me. And I was like, well, the only reason why that guy's got $1 million in funding for his thing, even though 70% of it's going to his staff and they're not actually helping the community, is because he asked. I didn't. And so I got competitive a little bit, like, oh, they have it because they asked for it.
Yeah.
Same thing with me having larger, more prominent stages. That got agitated out of me. I hated asking. I was like, I'm just good. They'll find me. And they were.
Yeah.
They were. But the guy that was like the in-demand 25K gig speaker was asking and wasn't afraid to ask. And so I was like, oh, man, forget that, man. That dude's got to get out the way. Yeah. I ain't going to be so scared to ask that I let him manipulate people from stage. No way. That is selfish of me to not ask. And so I had to kind of guilt trip myself into some of it. Okay. I had to see it happen. And I had to have a mentor to really help me just to get better at asking. And it's still not my favorite thing to do.
But I guess like anything, the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get with it.
Totally.
That's what they say confidence comes from. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
It is. And it's not at all about your worth. People make it too much about their worth. And that's so dangerous because if they say yes, you're high. If they say no, you're low.
Well, that's the thing. And that's the most dangerous place to be is when your self-worth is determined on outside forces.
I know.
And a lot of people kind of live like that, especially in relationships, right? Like they're okay if they respond, they're not if they're, and that's a horrible, I mean, I used to be in that place and now it's, oh yeah. Like, oh my gosh, my 20s and early 30s, I was so just living in scarcity, queen of self-sabotage, wanted to be loved myself, but not enough that I didn't want somebody else's life. Was always, I'll be happy when. That was my favorite go-to line. I'll be happy when I get discovered. I'll be happy when I'm rich. I'll prove myself when I have this, and it wasn't until I realized that I had to be happy now and grateful for everything now in order for everything else to flourish. But I think a lot of people are that way. I mean, there's a reason that there's a phrase, keeping up with the Joneses is so popular. It's because people are looking for that outside praise. I'm happy I don't have that, and I've gotten over, like, at least like I did when I was younger, but now I'm like, no, like maybe I need to like have a little bit back of it to impress others. Like I have I want to impress the listeners of this podcast and like my guest. You know what I mean? But I think there's a difference between respecting and delivering excellence versus impressing.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Totally. It's a thin line, but a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel like impress is like more grandiose, isn't authentically you. Yeah. Where delivering excellence is like, how can I put my best self forward and pull out the greatest interview that's going to impact whoever listens to the podcast, you know what I mean? Whether it's 1 million people or just 10.
Right.
If their lives make a difference, I'm doing my job.
Totally.
Like if this show, I can't even speak. If this show makes a difference in their lives, we've done our job.
We have.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the TEDx talks because you are very, very famous with, when people get a big opportunity to do a TEDx, and TEDx talks have single-handedly changed people's life. Mel Robbins is a prime example of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and you too. So tell us about your 2 TEDx talks and then how you became the go-to coach to get these people ready. Because you have your clients have over 2 million
So I had 2 million views in a year and a half.
That's amazing.
I've had several clients who have done 1 million views in a year. And I've had a handful of clients who have had the top 10 TEDx talks released within the year that they were released. So not of all time, right? But like within the calendar year that they were released, they were the most watched talk that year.
That's amazing.
So I've had that happen a couple of times. In fact, it's like almost every year I always have like one or two speakers that are on there now. I'm kind of like, expect it, you know?
Yeah. I want to be next.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like when Alabama, wins the championship, you expect them to bring it. So I'll be telling that to my clients sometimes, like, okay, come on, kid. I'm not sharing the no.
Yeah.
I said not sharing talk. But here's the thing. I was riding from Atlanta to Michigan, where I'm from, on a 12-hour drive with my wife, and we were arguing.
Okay.
And I was listening to Pete Vargas do a 12-hour webinar promoting his speaking course. He was interviewing all these big people, Les Brown, John Maxwell, all these like celebrities, giving away like, gift cards and courses and all this stuff. And in the middle of me arguing with my wife and her not realizing she was totally in the wrong, it's like intensifying. I'm like, go to turn down the radio. I'm like, ugh. And I kid you not, it's a true story. It was almost off the volume.
Okay.
This is scary to think that I almost missed this moment. But I just so happened to hear it faintly, my name. It said, Darryll. I'm like, shut up. I tell my wife, shut up. Don't do that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, shut up. I'm like, hold on, understand my name. I turn the volume up. Darryll. I'm like, oh my God, I come off mute. What's up? You won. Yay. Which one do you want? What's available? Story, stage, or scale? Stage. I won a $10,000 workshop to Pete Vargas' stage execution workshop. And it was all around all the like ins and outs of how to book more stages.
Wow.
And I was like, so cool. And I felt so grateful that I bought the little course they were promoting for $2,000. And so I bought that course. As part of that course, you had to submit a 4-minute video. The best 4-minute video got the TEDx stage. I won.
That's amazing.
Now they partnered us with a company called Thought Leader, who essentially helped us they pitched us to the stage.
Yeah.
I coached myself, and I had a lady named Myrna who held my script in a church kids auditorium and helped me recognize when I was leaving my body. Because it's one thing to memorize a script.
Right.
It's another to embody a message.
Yes. So she would basically say that you're scripting it.
Like, you're saying the right word, but that's not you. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you're right. Thank you. Okay.
I love that.
Loosen
embody
up.
The message.
Shake it out.
Yeah.
Come on. And they want to feel you, not hear your script. Okay?
Yeah.
So she helped me with that, and the rest is history, right? So 2.1 million views in a year and a half. So what's the question? Who helped you? How'd you get the opportunity? What's your talk? Well, I helped me. You coach speakers? I mean, yeah. TEDx talks? I mean, never thought about that, but I'd love to do that. That sounds dope.
Yeah.
And I did it. I was already coaching speakers. That was after I did my TED Talk, was my first TEDx client.
Yeah.
And then it was like, ding, 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 ding. I found my calling.
Yeah.
Because I'm a high performing athlete, and I was working with people to do these talks, and they didn't have any stakes. Mm-hmm. So I'm over here trying to be like, give this speech like it's your last. Come on. And they're like, I got like 7 gigs coming up, and this is just another one. I just kind of want to get a little bit better. And I'm like, come on, man. Come on,
like, Yeah.
But TED, though, because they love TED.
Okay.
Because we want TED, because TED could potentially blow us up.
Yes.
Oh, I'll work hard for TED. I'll study hard for TED. I'll take TED serious. Number one, it's one of my, sorry to vent on your podcast, but it's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people will show up and work harder for TED than they will for their audience of 2. To me, if you can't be faithful in a few things, you don't get to be faithful with many. Like, to me, if your heart won't serve the 2, then you won't have the heart to steward the masses. It's a heart thing. Okay.
I love that.
And so for me, I didn't like the spirit of that. But what I did like is they were showing up now. I had them. I could utilize what they wanted to help them to work harder to bring out what they were holding back from. And it was so much easier for me to get a client to basically transform as a communicator when they had a talk that they wanted, like a TED that they thought was a big deal, than if they were just preparing for even a paid gig. And so I fell in love with that process. Was like, yes, it's all intense. I get to push them. They're like breaking. They're shedding like decades of trauma.
Right.
Like, this is amazing. And so I just kept doing it. And so I've been doing it ever since.
When they come to you, do they already have the title and the meat?
Well, I'm an expert. I get them from all over. Some people, I get people that have no idea, they think they're not even good enough, but their friends said they should do a TED and they don't even see their own brilliance. I get that people. Then I get the people who they booked the TED already. They just need help with the talk because they actually want to do it for real and like get the results. They don't want to just live on the platform. The average TED Talk only has 1,000 views or less. Just like the average.
How many TED Talks are done per year? There's a lot, right?
There's 3,000 events per year.
Wow.
Okay. And you got to think each of those events probably has at least 4 speakers to be safe. Okay. Let alone some of them have 20.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a lot of openings, a lot of opportunities. And I'm talking about global based, not just US. So in TEDx in some other countries are like, if you're a TEDx speaker in certain aspects of the world, you're a god. Like they just, whoa. Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
It's amazing how it came to be about. How did it even start?
Oh God, you're gonna ask me the origin story of TED. I would just say read it. My mind's not there right now. I don't know if I can recite it and do it justice, but I know that they had that original intention to bring the brightest minds of the world together. It's since morphed. I mean, it's not really that anymore. It's not TED is for the brightest minds in the world. Their main platform, TED, is still for that. But they independently gave people the opportunity to be independent license holders.
Yeah.
So now you've got people who are like professors at a university or like I'm a corporate banker and I live in this community that needs TED Talks. And so I am the host, which is great for impact. It's not the best for like quality control.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're getting their buddies on the platform or like they don't know how to vet, the candidates that are applying. And so
do all these speeches then get released on the TEDx YouTube channel?
They do. Yeah. So they all get released they all technically get released on TED.com if you don't get flagged. I learned that if they flag your talk, then it doesn't go on TED.com. And
how do you get flagged? Cussing?
There's like pseudoscience. Self-promotion, just misinformation.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And there's degrees. Sometimes they'll put a warning or other times they'll put an alert or other times they just won't publish your talk at all.
Yeah. And you don't want that.
But then all TEDx talks get published on the TEDx YouTube channel. And that has, at this point, I think 42 million subscribers.
Yeah. So it's like it really increases your visibility.
It has the opportunity to increase visibility. But again, with 3,000 events, all these talks, I mean, every day there's TED Talks being uploaded.
So what do you think is the key ingredient that makes a TED Talk go viral or be successful?
I got to give 2.
Get out of those.
I can't give just one. I got to give 2. Key ingredient number 1 is an idea worth spreading.
Love that.
In the TEDx organizer culture, we say it needs to be a fresh take on an old idea or a new idea. Okay. 80 to 90% of people probably don't have that. I'm a license holder for TED. When I host my platform, we get over 1,000 applications.
Wow.
80+% of them do not clearly articulate an idea because there's a bunch of people who want to be speakers and want TED to blow them up. And they think TED is about doing their speech. When TED is about ideas worth spreading.
I love that.
Not speeches worth giving.
Yeah.
Okay. So a speech is usually your expertise chunked in 3 core takeaways.
Yes.
Okay. To make it simple. An idea is like the thought philosophy that governs it.
Okay.
And the world's reaction to that thought, that paradigm. Like that's a TED Talk. That's what it's supposed to be. So Sir Ken Robinson's TED Talk on why do schools kill creativity is an idea around how we can basically redo our education system. So number 1, that's the biggest problem is that people don't actually have a clear, potent idea. They have a talk, they have a message, they have a story. They don't have an idea.
Interesting.
The second thing is they have no strategy for visibility.
Yeah.
And the ones that do, usually it's everything but them speaking to real audiences about the message that they say that they're passionate about speaking about.
Interesting.
So they'll do the TED Talk and then they'll go pay somebody to run ads. or they'll do a TED Talk, and they'll pay a marketing agency to cut up the talk and run the clips on their socials so that they can then go talk. They'll do everything. Uh-oh, I said it. Yep, you heard me. Sorry to kick. They do everything. But go to the nearest person who needs their message and give it to them.
Interesting.
I know, this is going to blow people's minds, dude. This is wild.
Yeah.
So it's like when I talk to people who say, I did TED Talk, and it's like, well, what did you do afterwards? I announced it on my social media. Well, did you speak in front of anybody? Did you do a talk in front of him? No, man, I would love to do a talk. I'd love to talk. I'd love to. Did you go to the chamber and ask them if you could do the talk? Did you go to the Kiwanis Club? Did you go to the Civic Club?
Yeah.
Did you go to Rotary Club? Did you go to high school? Did you go to college? Well, no. What'd you do? I posted. I didn't actually try. I never really tried.
Wow, no, that's
you know why? Because of that two thing that I tell you about. Because they were hoping that the TED would blow them up. And the people who TED actually blows up the most, authentically, organically, not when you pay for it, is the people who are the most connected to the service of their message.
I love that.
They're the people who are like, I just want this to help as many people as possible. And regardless of if I have 1,000 views or 10 million views,
that's how I feel about this podcast,
going
Darryll.
to help as many people as possible.
Yeah.
You're going to see me out here trying to actually get my message to those people. Those are the people who actually spread that thing, because how a talk spreads is it has to be a great idea. And sometimes that can spread on its own because of the exposure. But when it doesn't, this is the only thing that spreads it. You get in front of actual people.
Yeah.
Because then you cannot help people and them not go tell people about it. You can't even have a good meal and not have somebody that had that good meal go tell them about the restaurant. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
So if you actually help people with your talk, more people will pass it on. It's the fact that your talk's not helpful. It was your demo footage. And then you're not actually committed to serving people.
Yeah, and you're just doing it for the accolades. I did a TEDx talk.
It's only gonna last you so long.
Yeah.
Especially in 2026 and beyond, baby, where people care less and less and less about that shiny object stuff.
Yeah. What do you think that going forward, people are more? Authenticity,
vulnerability. Why? Because all that say it right, do it the right way. We got deep fakes now, baby. We got AI.
Yeah, that's true. I know. And it's hard for people, I think, to just kind of like relax and just, because you don't want to say the wrong thing and get canceled. But I feel like we're kind of out of cancel culture a little bit.
No, we're not. This is cancel culture, girl. They will eat you alive.
Well, I'm just saying because like there's so many areas to get an audience. Like your audience will find you.
Your tribes. Yeah.
Versus like the cancel culture in traditional Hollywood, where it's like we have the stages, we own the stages. You can't. Now people can kind of create their own, you know, so that's what I mean by like cancel culture. But I think it's people are afraid, you know, we're in a sensitive climate and people are like, I don't want to offend everyone. That's why I say just offend everybody. It's easier. Cause then that's what I do.
I know. Just get the offending done with.
Yeah. Like that's just what she does. That's exactly. All right. Well, Darryll, this has been amazing. Where can people find you, join your communities, learn more about you, all that good stuff?
Man, at Stinson, Stinson, speaks. And I know it's all in the show notes and all that stuff. So just follow me there. Look me up on LinkedIn or DarrylStinson.com.
Perfect.
Easy to reach.
Yes. And you guys, you can go on YouTube as well and look up his speeches. If you need a quick motivation or re-listen to the podcast, whatever helps you. You've been amazing. I feel like I just want to go write my TED Talk.
Yes, you should. You put it out there now.
Exactly.
I love that.
Stuck into the universe. But I appreciate you. I'm so grateful that you came in to the studio. This is actually our first podcast in the new Nashville, Tennessee studio. As some of you may or may not know, I've relocated here. And so far, it's going great. I love the people, and I've been connected with Darryll, and he is the first guest to pop into this amazing new studio. And Bungalow Studios, I'm so grateful for them for hosting the Next to Madison podcast, and grateful for all of you for tuning in wherever you may be. We will see you next time to find out who's next.
Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms, and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@nexttomadison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.